It's been a few months with the AirPods Max now. If you'll recall, I was pretty giddy about the AirPods Max when they came out. There was plenty of buzz, plenty of opinions, good and bad, on both sides. This being Apple's first over-the-ear headphones in the AirPods line, they were bound to generate some discussion, and once that $550 price tag hit the airwaves, that conversation whipped itself into a lather pretty quickly. Price aside, what really mattered to me initially was how they sounded and functioned, and they sounded really good. There were a few hiccups along the way that got me ticked off. I mean, there was a battery draining problem that's pretty much gone away, but not entirely. I still have a few weird moments here and there. And of course, there was moisture gate, where the AirPods showed some signs of water inside and everything like that, which some people claim didn't exist and some people claim did, and some people said it was this and some people was that. Anyway, I complained about both of those things quite a bit, but in the end, everyone seemed to be content to let all that stuff fade away. Everybody just decided to forget about it, and so we went on. I had my return label printed out for these things, and I was ready to ship them back to Apple when I stopped myself, and I said, no. You owe it to the people to continue to report on these headphones. Intrepid journalism requires sacrifice, and in this case, painfully honest coffers must take the hit in order to do the yeoman work for your audience. Even though there were those couple of hiccups after I kept them, I mean, overall, I was pretty happy with them. I liked the sound. I liked the ease of use of the Apple devices with, handoff and all that kind of stuff. The handoff really does work well for me. I know some people have gotten in touch with me saying that it doesn't work well for them, but I've not really had a problem. Not really having anywhere to go. I haven't taken them outside yet, so I can't say how they would fare in, say, sub-zero temperatures. Maybe I could have got my tongue to stick to the AirPods Max. I don't know. That would have been fun. But as is so often the case, familiarity breeds contempt, and the AirPods Max have drawn my ire now more than once over the past several months. Some of the issues could have been foreseen, while others maybe not so much. So here's a short list of what I found. 1, as I feared, buying them in white was a bad idea. Even though they've stayed relatively clean in the environments here of Shea, Painfully Honest, the headband and the ear cups, both have gotten a little dingy and picked up some dirt along the way. I mean, yeah, maybe I could kick up the quarantine hygiene a notch just to offset some of that. But regardless, white was not a good choice. Even the silicone headband seems a little dingy to me now as well, and that's not good. For $550, it actually sucks. The aluminum cups here haven't suffered really any damage yet. That is, yet. It's only a matter of time. Aluminum is as soft as my resolve when it comes to buying new gear. So yes, they are going to get nicked up sometime soon, before long. It's going to take, drop it in the driveway or here in the studio or out on the sidewalk or something like that. No matter what, they're going to get scratched up, and these things will indelibly become mine forever. Number 2, as much as I like the placement of the controls, and it calls out to other designs that Apple has and stuff like that, I found the controls up here annoying as hell. I never realized how important it was for me to grab the ear cups this way when putting them on my head, and that causes problems you always get, like transparency mode, or you mess with the volume or something like that. Every time I put them on, it was just kind of annoying as heck. And eventually I got used to it, but every time I had to stop myself and grab over here. So the ergonomics of it, just the user experience, the design just wasn't really all that great. I mean, it's not a big annoyance at first, but after a few months, it really kind of drives you crazy. Speaking of fitting them onto my head, they just aren't really as good as I originally thought they might be. It turns out that long rectangular ear cups aren't very good at providing a tight seal on the bottom whenever you put them on your round head. It always feels to me like the bottom edge is kind of lifting off. It's uncomfortable, and it doesn't get that great a seal, which becomes really a whole thing when you're trying to use them. I keep trying, it bugs me. I keep trying to adjust them. And when I went back and tried other noise canceling headphones that I've had for a while, like the Sony's, the WH-1000XM4s or the Soundcores or something like that, the seal on those was much easier to get and much more comfortable overall. So while I was in love with the design at first, over time, it kind of wore thin for me. On the upside, the AirPods Max still sound really good. The sound isn't as natural as I initially thought, but they still are really fun and sound really good in a way that doesn't hurt my ears after a while, the way some headphones that do. Yeah, they just don't fit as well. And one thing that's been difficult for me as well is because of their weight and their balance, as well as the size of the ear cups. Whenever I sit back in a chair, I'm watching TV with them on or something like that, or I'm just listening to music in bed, the ear cups are large enough that they get pushed up out of place on my ear, which is also kind of annoying. These are all things that I couldn't really have foreseen immediately after I got them. But now, having lived with them for a while, there are just a few things here that are first generation problems that Apple could probably fix later on. I mean, I think they've got other things to fix as well that we've talked about in the past, but the AirPods Max are very much still a first generation product. So how do I feel about owning the AirPods Max here after a few months? I've gone back and forth between a lot of different headphones, both wired and wireless, and gotten a better sense of where these sit, but the sound signature is really good. Using them with my Apple devices, and it just like seamlessly bounces from one to the next, it actually never really gets old. And Apple, I applaud you for going the extra mile with that design stuff. I think it's great to push the limits of design. I think we actually now need to look and get some user experiences and see how the design makes sense in use. So in the end, if given the choice of having the AirPods Max and enjoying the AirPods Max, or having $550 that I could spend on something else, whether it be other headphones or paying down some bills or something like that, I think now that I've had the AirPods Max for a few months, I would take the money and wait for Gen 2, which, again, isn't to say that it's a terrible experience. It's just to say that after a little while, some of the things that weren't initially apparent have popped their head out and made the experience of the AirPods Max not as great as I had hoped it would be there in those early days when I first got them. So, what are your thoughts on the AirPods Max? Do you have them? Did you get them? Did you send them back? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Let's talk about it down in the comments below. We'll always be there having a boisterous discussion as always. Did I say always already? I did say always already. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys this report. More headphone stuff coming soon. More audio-related stuff coming soon. More Painfully Honestness always here on the Painfully Honest Tech channel. Once again, thanks so much for being here. My name's Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time. I'm out.